been 25 years since Republicans have had total control of the Senate, the House, and the governorship. And the Republicans have been in power that long, not because people overwhelmingly approve of what Republicans have done. It's because from day one, Republicans had one mission and one mission only: to stay in power. And that's what they've done since 2003, when they passed their first mid-decade redistricting map. They did that to undermine communities like ours and to undermine our vote. So for example, here we are in the year 2026, in the age of artificial intelligence, where every facet of our lives is online. But here in Texas, if you want to register to vote, you still have to do so with pen and paper and a 30-day waiting period. If you want to register to vote in this state, Republicans make you wait longer than the guy who wants to buy an assault rifle at a gun store. Their plan has worked. After 3 decades of Republican rule, Texas has the lowest voter participation rate in the nation. And then there was the redistricting map that they just passed a few months ago. I was proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with my colleague and friend James Talerico in the fight. Many of you have heard me say this over and over again, but we all need to know these facts because these are the consequences of gerrymandering. Under the map that they passed, white Texans receive 1 member of Congress for every 430,000 residents. But for Hispanic residents, it takes 1.4 million to get that same level of representation. For black Texans, it takes 2 million. Texas Hispanics are now the most underrepresented population group in all 50 states. It is not an exaggeration to say that we are the most underrepresented that we ever have been in our nation's history, including the civil rights era, because back then we were only 15% of the state's population. Today we are 40% of the state's population, more than the state of California. But that level of diversity won't be represented in our congressional delegation, because if Republicans continue to have their way, they're going to continue to undermine our vote. This is the civil rights struggle of our time, of our generation. And we need a United States Senator who will lead the fight for equal representation, so voters pick their elected leaders, not the other way around, where the elected leaders pick their voters. Are we up to the task? Are we prepared to fight like the Americans before us? James understands that democracy only works when the government is accountable to everyone, not just the few. He knows the dangers and the injustices that come when our government feels it's accountable to only a small segment of the population that also happens to be the wealthiest members of our population. Let us never forget what Americans in the civil rights era and the civil rights fight had to do to have America keep its promises. The boycotts of the bus system, the boycotts of businesses, sit-ins, marches, mass voter registration drives, putting their bodies on the line for a simple idea that democracy should apply to everyone. It happened because people organized and they refused to be ignored. So the question before us is simple. What are we going to do? We're going to start by electing James Talerico as the next. As a first-term representative, I had the privilege of serving with James Talerico. I got to see James in action throughout the year. All those viral moments that you see on social media, I was fortunate to have a front row seat for all of it. But I learned, but beyond those speeches and those viral moments, James has the heart of a public servant, guided by his faith and a commitment to social justice. When you turn on the TV today, you see too many politicians who claim to love America, but they clearly have such disdain for such a large segment of the American population. James has a vision for a Texas that works for everyone, and that includes everyone, not just some. And that's exactly why extremists fear him. Because he doesn't just call out what's wrong, he reminds people of what's possible. He pushes us to aspire to something better, and it's rooted in a belief that no matter your party, your background, your faith, your zip code, you are our neighbor. We are all neighbors, and we are all in this together. We have obligations to one another. James also understands the border region because he knows what El Paso has always shown this country, that you can be welcoming and you can take public safety seriously at the same time. We can't wall ourselves off from our sister city and our southern neighbor. Our communities are connected by family, by culture, and by our economy. He also has ties to El Paso. His grandparents lived here in El Paso. As a former public school teacher, he led the fight against the governor's corrupt voucher scheme. He understands what Republicans refuse to acknowledge, that it's wrong to siphon off public school dollars for wealthy students who are already in private school to give wealthy families a discount on tuition. James led the fight on health care and to lower prescription drug costs because he's lived what it means when he's lived it when insulin has been out of reach. He refuses to accept a Texas where working people ration medicine just to survive. And when our community here in El Paso raised concern about ICE facilities and the treatment of immigrants, James didn't just look away. He has stood up, he has showed up, and he has spoken with moral clarity. Because dignity is not negotiable. James, we welcome you to El Paso because El Paso is a place with a proud legacy of standing up for working people and treating our neighbors with dignity. This is a community shaped by struggle and solidarity. From the 1966 miners to the 1975 strike, numerous landmark cases, because the people of El Paso refuse to accept second-class treatment. We are guided by the belief that justice is something that you practice, not something you wait for. James's message lives here. His fight belongs here. And our turnout is going to prove it. So this afternoon, let's send a message to the rest of Texas. Let's organize, let's vote, let's show them that communities like ours are not going to be sidelined. And let's welcome the next senator from the state of Texas.
Thank you. So great to be in El Paso, Texas. Thank you, Vince, for the kind words, for your friendship to me, for your service to this community. Thank you to the volunteers in the vests who made this event possible. And thank you to all of you for showing up here on short notice. It is so good to be in El Paso. As Vince said, my grandparents lived here when I was growing up. I have so many fond memories of being in this city. The first time I ever saw mountains was here in El Paso. And this place has always meant so much to me. So thank you for the warm welcome. We are on our Take Back Texas tour. We're going to every corner of the state. We're not writing off any voter. We're not writing off any community. We're talking to everyone and going everywhere because that is how we're going to flip this state in November of this year. And I just want to tell you how good it is to be in this city after such a crazy week on our campaign. On Monday, I filmed an interview with Stephen Colbert on the Late Show. And as you probably have heard, the Trump administration colluded with corporate media executives at CBS to keep the interview off the air. But I think it's fair to say their plan backfired. You know, that kind of attack on the freedom of speech and the freedom of the press is a danger to all of us. These are the same people who campaigned against cancel culture in 2024. Now they are trying to control what we say, what we watch, what we read, and this is the most dangerous kind of cancel culture, the kind that comes from the very top. They did it to The View after I went on that show. They did it to Jimmy Kimmel after telling a joke they didn't like. And then they went after Stephen Colbert for telling the truth about Paramount's bribe to the president. Corporate media executives are selling out the freedom of speech to curry favor with corrupt politicians. And a threat to any of our First Amendment rights is a threat to all of our First Amendment rights. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, whether you're a progressive or a conservative, because the real fight in this country is not left versus right, it's top versus bottom. We launched this campaign for the U.S. Senate 5 months ago in my hometown of Round Rock, Texas. And since then, we have had thousands of Texans showing up to rally with us in every corner of the state, from Amarillo to Brownsville, from Beaumont to right here in El Paso. And I can't tell you how many people have come up to me at the end of these events and whispered, "I'm not a Democrat." Like it's some kind of secret. We have recruited more than 22,000 volunteers who are doing the organizing work in every community in this state to win in November. And we have shattered grassroots fundraising records, all without taking a dime from corporate PACs. This is a people power movement to take on this broken, corrupt political system. This is a campaign of, by, and for the people. We are not just organizing to win an election, we are organizing to fundamentally change our politics in this country. We are so divided as a country that we can't even share the Super Bowl anymore. 2 different halftime shows for 2 different Americas living in 2 different realities. Bad Bunny, one of my favorite artists, gave one of the best Super Bowl halftime performances of all time. And then I saw that Kid Rock, an artist that I also grew up listening to, he put on a counter concert, which I didn't even know that was a thing. What would lead someone to protest that beautiful halftime show? And where does that come from? It comes from fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of change. Fears that we all struggle with. But there was nothing to be afraid of in that halftime show. Just joy and unity and love. Because in the words of Scripture, love casts out fear. Or in the words of Bad Bunny, the only thing more powerful than hate is love. That word love is maybe the most important word in the English language. The most important word in all of our lives. And yet, we rarely hear it in our politics. My granddad was a Baptist preacher in South Texas. And when I was real little, he told me that Jesus gave us 2 commandments. Love God and love neighbor. Jesus could have told us to love our immediate family members or love our close friends. Those would have been easier commandments to follow. But he told us to love our neighbors. And that's inherently a public thing. It's what led me to public service. First, as a public school teacher on the west side of San Antonio. Now as a public official. I launched my very first campaign for the Texas House 8 years ago, back home in Williamson County. And back then, I was told it was a lost cause. I was a Democrat running in a Trump district, in a county that was so red, it hadn't voted for a Democrat for president since Jimmy Carter. I was told that flipping a Trump district wasn't possible. I was told the race was unwinnable. I was told I was too young. I was told I didn't have the money or the connections to win. I was the underdog in that race. But my neighbors and I, we ran an aggressive, authentic, unorthodox campaign that brought people together, and on election night, we flipped that district with 51% of the vote. And now I'm in my 4th term in the Texas House of Representatives, and I, as a legislator, I am trying to love my neighbor through public policy. Amen. By lowering the cost of housing, lowering the cost of childcare, lowering the cost of prescription drugs, including insulin. I'm trying, with my position of public trust, to make my neighbor's life a little easier and a little better. And that kind of love in our politics is harder and harder to find. The reason politics sucks right now is it's not any one politician. It is the system itself. Think about who was sitting behind the President of the United States on Inauguration Day. Think about who owns the 24-hour corporate media that treats news as entertainment. Think about who runs the social media algorithms that keep us angry and divided. A handful of billionaires have redesigned our politics for their own profit. Us versus them, trolling, owning, name-calling, winning at all costs. Our politics has become professional wrestling. And I like professional wrestling, but not in my politics. They want us to keep scrolling. They want us to keep fighting, so they keep getting richer. They want to divide us by party, by race, by gender, by religion, so we don't notice that they are picking our pockets, that they are closing our schools, gutting our health care, raising taxes on all of us while they cut taxes for themselves. It is the oldest strategy in the world: divide and conquer. They have literally changed how we talk to one another. They have changed how we learn about the world. It's the reason you and your MAGA uncle, who you used to get along with just fine, now live in completely separate realities. Politics shouldn't feel this way. Politics is just another word for how we treat our neighbors. And we should treat each other a lot better than this. We can change this broken, corrupt political system. They may have the money, but we have the majority. And it's going to require all of us coming together across these manufactured divisions. Fight the system, not your neighbor. There is something broken in this country. Our economic system is broken. Our political system is broken. But even our relationships with each other feel broken. And that's because the most powerful people in the world want it that way. I told you that my faith teaches me to love my neighbor as myself. Not just my neighbor who looks like me. Not just my neighbor who prays like me. Not just my neighbor who votes like me. I am called to love all of my neighbors the way I love myself. Because despite our many differences, despite our many disagreements, we all want the same things. A safe neighborhood, a good job with good benefits, a high quality, well-funded public school, and the ability to see a doctor when we need one. I am tired of being pitted against my neighbor. I'm tired of being told to hate my neighbor. It's been more than 10 years of this kind of politics. Politics as blood sport. Politics as total war. It tears families apart. It ends friendships. It leaves us all feeling terrible all the time. I really do believe that as I travel this state, that people across the spectrum are hungry for a different kind of politics. Not a politics of hate, not a politics of fear, not a politics of division, but a politics of love. A love for this state, a love for this country, and a love for all of our neighbors. A love that can heal what's broken in America. I was in Laredo, my mom's hometown, and we had a town hall, and a gentleman stood up and asked me, he said, "Isn't love too weak for this moment?" And I thought it was a great question. So I told him the truth, that my faith teaches me that love is the strongest force in the universe. Love is not passive. Love is not neutral. Love is not weak. Love sometimes requires that we stand between the bullies and the bullied. Love sometimes requires that we look evil in the eye and not blink. Love sometimes requires that we flip over the tables of injustice. That kind of love has always been a threat to the powers that be. That kind of love is revolutionary. That kind of love is radical. Love is creative. Hate is predictable. Hate is boring. Hate can't lower our energy bills. Hate can't teach a child how to read. Hate can't build a future. But what hate can't do, love can. Love can turn a student into a scholar. Love can turn an enemy into a friend. Love can turn a campaign into a movement. We will not beat the politics of division with more division. We're not going to win this race by shaming or ridiculing or alienating our neighbors. This campaign is rooted in a fierce, aggressive kind of love. A love for every single one of our neighbors. Because in my experience, when you extend an open hand rather than a closed fist, you'll be surprised by who takes that hand. So if you hate politics and you've never voted before, you have a place in this campaign. If you have voted for Democrats, but you're tired of Democrats always folding, you've got a place in this campaign. And if you voted for Donald Trump, but you are fed up with the extremism and the corruption in our government, you also have a place in this campaign. A new kind of politics is possible. It's waiting to be born through all of you. And a movement that radiates that kind of love is unstoppable. And it will win. Because we have a moral imperative to win in November. If we don't win, we can't help anybody. We can't stop what's happening. Right now, we are all seeing the consequences of losing elections. There is a secret police force terrorizing our neighbors across this state and across this country. ICE shot a mother in the face. ICE kidnapped a 5-year-old boy. ICE executed a man in broad daylight on our streets right before our eyes. It is time to tear down this secret police force and replace it with an agency that is actually going to focus on public safety for all of us. It is past time to impeach Secretary Kristi Noem. It is past time to prosecute agents who have abused their power. majority, we will haul these masked men before Congress so the world can see their faces. These masked men are waiting in school pickup lines. They are lurking in hospital waiting rooms. This is not law enforcement. This is something else. They say it's about law and order, but they're waiting outside courthouses, arresting people who are following the law and showing up for their immigration hearings. They say it's about the economy, but they are deporting the very people who keep our economy running. They say it's about illegal immigration, but now they're going after American citizens. This has never been about immigration. This has always been about control. Because the best way to control a population is to keep them afraid. Keep them looking over their shoulder. Keep them in line. Don't draw attention to yourself. Don't criticize the state. Don't speak your mind, otherwise you'll be disappeared or even killed. No more secret police. No more masked men. No more disappearing people. This is the United States of America. We shouldn't be afraid of our government. Our government should be afraid of us. Many of you know that in addition to my public work as an elected official, as a candidate for office, I'm also, in my own time, a seminary student, studying to become a minister just like my granddad. And so, since things are so dark right now, I thought I would leave you with a little bit of pastoral care. Whether you're religious or not, I think we all need that kind of care in this moment. There's a lyric from a great American songwriter, John Prine, that I have been thinking about. He wrote, "I really love America. I just don't know how to get there anymore." Yeah. And that's enough to break your heart. And when I'm feeling this way, there is a verse of scripture that I return to. And again, whether you're religious or not, I hope it can be a gift to you. It's in the Gospel of Luke when Jesus says something really strange. He says, "Blessed are you who weep." And that's a strange thing to say, because how can someone who's weeping also be blessed? In our culture, we tend to avoid grief. But I think we forget that grief can be fertile soil. Sometimes we see the world most clearly through our tears. So if your heart is breaking right now, as you watch what's happening to our beloved country, it means you still have a heart. And I want you to trust that. I want you to protect that. Because that is what's going to get us out of all of this. There has never been a more important time to be a human being. In a time of shadows, we must, all of us, shine our light. Like many of you, I'm tempted by hopelessness. I'm tempted by despair. But then I show up in the middle of a Saturday with a crowd full of neighbors who are trying to save their country, and then all of a sudden I feel a little bit of hope again. And a little bit of hope is a dangerous thing. The fact that you are all here, it means you haven't given in to hopelessness. And that means the bullies haven't won yet. We have a lot of work to do, El Paso. But together, we will win this race. We will take back our state and we will take back our country. Because in the words of Bad Bunny, the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Let's go on this one. Thank you.